Hello, my creative friends. I'm Heather North from heatherscreativeblessings.com. My card today uses the new sketch from the Case This Sketch Challenge. I will have pictures and links over on my blog, so be sure and check it out. If you're on YouTube, I'll have links down below to my blog so you can see that. This is going to be a one-layer card. I have some basil marshmallow cardstock. It's a little bit thicker than the normal Stampin' Up! That I often use. And I'm taking some Post-it notes and I'm just laying them across the top fold of the card. This will keep my stenciling, the ink, from getting on the back of my card, but I'm also going to use it to help hold my card in place while I stencil. And then I'm going to take some Post-it note tape, which I could have used, but I am almost out of this tape, so I'm using it a little bit sparingly until I go get some more. And I'm using my grid mat. Each of those boxes is 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just deciding, do I want it 1 1/4 inches, which is 5 boxes down, or 1 inch, which is 4 boxes down. And I went with the 1 inch. So just count down 4 boxes on the left and right side, and you'll have an even stripe. The Post-its are going to hold it down, but you could also use some repositionable adhesive if you want to keep your card from slipping and moving too much. So what I have here is the Zigs and Zag stencil from Penny Black, and you can see there's a lot of negative space at the top that make those triangles, and I didn't really want that. I wanted as much of the chevron as I could get so I could get as much color on my card as possible. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up the point of those triangles with the top fold of my card going all the way across to help make sure that the stencil goes on even. See that right there. And then I'll also make sure that the chevron going down, that the points all line up with the right side of the card. And then I'll take some more of this tape and just tape my stencil into place. And you can see that was the last of my green. I've got a little bit of white Post-it tape, but I'm going to place my Ellen Hudson order when I'm done with this video. Get some more. So I'm going to be using Distress inks. They do a wonderful job of blending, and I love the colors. Starting out with Mermaid Lagoon, I am picking it up with my mini distress tool and rubbing off the excess on my grid paper. Then I'm going to take it to my stencil, and I had forgotten just how delicate this stencil is. They have really fine lines, and if you go just back and forth, you will tend to, or at least I do, tend to pull up the stencil, and that doesn't give you a very crisp image. So what I found was the best way to go about doing this is just to put my dauber down, or my blending tool down, and just twist it. And you'll see that here in just a second when I pull out the cracked pistachio. You can also try just pouncing it up and down, but I think this method works a little bit better. So again, pick up the ink and then tap it and twist. Tap and twist all the way across. And I'm not pressing really hard because, again, it lifts and moves. Now, if you really want the crispest image, I would suggest getting some spray adhesive and spraying the back of your stencil. But if you're okay with a little color seeping out underneath, then this technique works really well. So my next color is Squeeze Lemonade, and I didn't want to contaminate my sponge with too much of the green ink. I do want the colors to blend together, but I didn't want to pull green all the way down throughout my yellow. So what I did was I took a baby wipe and just wiped up some of that ink. Before I move on to the next color, I'm actually going to move the stencil down because it's got more of that negative space, that triangle, and I want the chevron to go all the way down. I want to get 2 more colors in if I can. So I peeled it off, and then I used a baby wipe. Now, really, I probably shouldn't have, or I should have taken a paper towel and dried it, because some of the moisture from the baby wipe got under the stencil and made a little bit of the green and yellow kind of shift and move a little bit. If that bothers you, make sure it's very dry before you put it back on, or just don't bother with cleaning the stencil in between. It's very easy to line up because I have all of those chevrons to line up with above. So I just lined it up, making sure that the stencil goes down below my card front. And then I'm pulling in some picked raspberry. This is a really sharp line because it's such a bright, bold color. So I grabbed my distress tool that still had some squeezed lemonade on it, and I rubbed it across the bottom of the yellow into the pink to kind of get it to blend. And then I grab my pink again to blend up, and you can see big old splotchy. Whoopsie. It's okay. This card is not perfect. I hope that you will forgive me. I hope that you will make it perfect. Mine was not. But I still think it turned out cute and fun, and I am still going to be sending this to somebody who is totally fabulous. Okay, my last color is Wilted Violet, and I was able to blend that up really easily into the color above it. And now I'll remove my stencil and clean up a little bit. When removing the tape, pull at a 45-degree angle to help prevent rips and tears. My plan was to take this You Are Sentiment from the Legendary Stamp Set by Casual Fridays and pair it with this die that Julie Ebersol made for Ellen Hudson. It's the Essentials by Ellen line. Totally fabulous. So that it would say, you are totally fabulous. Or you are fabulous. ... Totally. Anyways, I ended up just using the die because after I made this, I was scared to stamp and mess up all that I had done. Have you ever done that before? Oh, I think it's fine without it. I might go back and add it again now that the video is done, see if I like it better. If I do, I'll post a picture on my blog. I'm just using the Ranger Multi-Matte Medium to adhere this. I die cut it out of black cardstock, and then I'm going to take just some paper snips and snip off the ends that are hanging off. And as simple as that, my card today is done. I hope I did justice to the Case This Sketch Challenge. Like I said earlier, if you're on YouTube, I will have links and pictures over on my blog, and you can check out the link to today's post down below. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like my card today, be sure and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel so I know that you want to see more from me. I hope that you find some time today to get creative and maybe play along with the sketch. Bye!